Over the last few weeks, there's been a ton of AI news coming out, like DALL-E becoming free and almost better than Midjourney, Adobe releasing AI that's literally designed to make sellable images and vector graphics, which we haven't seen before. And it's been a while since I made an AI update video, so today I figured we'd break down all of the recent updates and projects to see how we could possibly make some bread online. Now, one of the most interesting updates is this new text-to-vector AI generator in Adobe Illustrator. I noticed this a couple days ago when they showed me this pop-up, which caught my eye a bit since it's showing a design on a sweatshirt, which kind of proves that they're targeting people who want to make images that sell. Adobe is making all of their AI with monetization and longevity in mind. So their AI models are only trained on stock images that the creators approved to be used to train the models. They're not just scraping billions of images off the internet. That means that Adobe's AI has been a lot slower to develop, but in the end, we're going to be left with a product that's a lot safer to use, at least from a copyright standpoint. But to use the new text-to-vector feature, you will have to have Adobe Illustrator, so make sure that that's downloaded if you want to follow along. So with a new document made, all we have to do is select the rectangle tool and just draw out an area for us to generate our AI design in. Then using this text-to-vector graphic generator, I can just type something in the prompt section to generate an image. Or I can use one of their sample prompts. So maybe I'll do this hamburger just to see what the results are like. Now, this definitely is still in beta, but even given the limited amount of time that this has been out, these are some pretty high quality results, at least in my opinion. If we give this 6 more months, I'm sure that it'll be well on its way to a fully usable AI. For comparison, here's an image made using Midjourney version 1 versus version 5, which is the most recent version. You can see a pretty drastic difference. There are some other features in Illustrator that you should probably know about. For example, I can switch the type of generation to either the subject, scene, icon, or even a pattern. So each of these would generate a different type of image. So for example, if we wanted to do an icon and we wanted to do a burger, we can see what that would look like as well. You can see that this icon is a much different type of graphic than the one that we generated with the subject method. Some of the images do look kind of silly, but considering that this feature is quite new, I think that we'll see much better vectors into the future. And lastly, we have the pattern feature. So if we select that, we can use the same prompt and just see what the burger pattern would look like. Again, not the highest quality results, but considering that this is still just the version 1 of their vector AI generator, I think we're going to see some super high quality results into the future. We've already talked about how selling patterns online or similar graphics can be a passive side hustle. So as this develops and the technology gets better, I'm guessing more and more people are going to be able to try it. But with that out of the way, we can talk about Adobe Firefly AI, which has released some absolutely insane updates. Adobe has really been putting the pressure on Midjourney recently with their new Adobe Firefly 2 model that's generating all of these kind of crazy images. This is the second version of the image generator, and in my opinion, it's 1,000 times better. We can see some of the differences here, like the lighting and the detail in the background, the realism and the colors that it's selecting in generating these type of animals. Again, the texture and the lighting on the face, the up close detail, and once again, the colors that it's selecting look a lot more natural. The people look a lot better, and the background is more punchy and vibrant. And I feel like it's even getting better with its technical lines, so you don't see as many of those weird artifacts that AI loves to create. And in the actual image generator, we have way more control over the images. So we have things like this aspect ratio selector, so we can just choose what type of aspect ratio we want. We can do different content types, so we have photo or art. We have the visual intensity of the content type. They have all different kinds of style selectors. We can upload reference images. And they have all these different effects that we can apply to the different images that we're creating. And if we have the photo content type selected, we can even do photo settings and change things like the aperture, the shutter speed, and the field of view, which is absolutely insane. Now, when I'm ready to create my own image, I can come right down here into the prompt section, and I can start typing a kangaroo with a bow tie. And you can see that as I start typing in my suggestion, it'll give me more prompt suggestions based on what I've already typed. So maybe we want a kangaroo with a bow tie posing in front of the camera. Then I can just hit enter and it will generate those images for me. And there you go. You can see that we have 4 results, very similar to Midjourney, and they're way higher quality than we would have gotten with the Firefly model number 1. Now, in my opinion, I think Midjourney does better with these realistic style images as of right now, but I think in the future, Adobe might be able to at least get the same level of quality that Midjourney is making right now. However, with the new art filters and the effects that we can add, I think that it really makes the Adobe projects stand out. So if I just switch it over to the art content type, and then we look at some of their effects, maybe we want to do an antique photo, and we generate that, we'll get a totally different look. Now to me, these look like a lot higher quality than the images we got before. And if you ask me, it's way easier to get a specific type of style using this Adobe generator compared to using Midjourney. You don't have to worry about adding any specific parameters to your prompts or using any keywords. We can just click the filters that we like, hit generate, and it'll automatically apply all of those filters depending on what we've selected. So you can see this is a much cooler style than what we were getting. And from my experience, emulating this type of style in Midjourney would be quite the headache. Now, all of that is super cool, but what I'm even more excited for is the new DALL-E version 3. DALL-E is an OG in the image generator space. And while it hasn't been my favorite, the recent updates have made it better than it's ever been. Now, right now, you can use DALL-E in the Bing chat, or you can use it in GPT-4, which is what I will be doing today. So you just hover over this little drop down and select a DALL-E from right there. Now, what I found really interesting on their website is that they write, as with DALL-E 2, the images that you create with DALL-E 3 are yours to use, and you don't need our permission to reprint, sell, or merchandise them. So you basically have an unlimited use for the images that you create with DALL-E. Basically, there's no other hoops to jump through if you plan on selling your images. In this new promo video, they show off a bunch of new features that we haven't really seen before. For example, they're asked to see a sunflower with a hedgehog, and they kind of create a story around this hedgehog design named Larry. And then they turn it into some stickers and they make a story to go with him. But what I found really interesting with this is that they're able to generate the same kind of character look over and over again in different scenes, maintaining a fairly consistent character look. This is especially interesting when you think about creating things like children's books or other things similar to that. So now to generate my own, I can just tell chat that I want to see a cactus. Then when I hit enter, I'll just give it a second and it'll load. I can just say I want to see a cactus. So there you go. You can see that just like with Midjourney, we get 4 images. And honestly, they're pretty high quality. There's a strong attention to detail here, and the images look really good in my opinion. They also give you kind of a lot of variety. So Midjourney tends to give you a bunch of the same types of images, or here you can see a realistic one, kind of a cartoon one, kind of a retro graphic style, and I guess another realistic one with kind of cartoon eyes on it. And because it's in ChatGPT, I can interact with it a little bit more to get the type of images that I'm looking for. So I can say, can you make it look more retro? I will say that as of right now, it isn't nearly as fast as Midjourney. And you can see that these images reflect a lot more of a retro style image, which is pretty interesting and very useful if this is the type of thing that you're trying to generate. And a final feature that they added is the ability to generate text in the images. So I could say something like a cactus holding a sign that says "help me." And then when I run this and I give it a few minutes, so there you go. Now we have a cactus holding a sign that says "help me." And the lettering is really crystal clear here. Like, these look awesome in my opinion. Midjourney can't do any kind of text like this. Now I can put this side by side with an image generated using Midjourney with the exact same prompt. And to me, the quality is almost the same. And given a few more variations, I think that DALL-E might be able to pass Midjourney if they don't keep up with their innovation. I think that once we start to see a kind of user interface similar to what Adobe's generating with the DALL-E or the Midjourney versions, I think that it's going to be absolutely crazy the type of images that we're able to create. Once Midjourney can create text And once we have a better UI similar to what Adobe's creating, I think that creating images overall is going to be a lot more insane than it is right now. I just like to see how this is all coming full circle. I think that we'll likely see a lot more AI art being generated as it becomes easier and faster and cheaper to do. And I think that these technologies and companies are going to continue to improve, giving us better and better images. It's also definitely worth noting that OpenAI and Adobe are both creating their AI models with people who want to monetize their AI work in mind. They're not just intended for playing around anymore. And the fact that I can get this type of image on DALL-E, which I could use inside of the Bing chat completely for free, is absolutely insane. If you found the stuff in this video as interesting as I did, be sure to click subscribe. And as always,